Hello guys, Counterfactual History here, and I'm here with All Quiet in the Trenches, which is, I'm pretty sure, like, a narrative-based, World War I game. So, yeah, we're going to, um, uh, yeah, okay, we're just going to play with base settings. I'm not going to make it harder for myself just yet. Maybe on a second playthrough, but, let's see. Oh yeah, this is like talking about all the artists in World War One. That's kind of interesting. Okay. So, I believe this game takes place in 1915, which is after, the Schlieffen plan had failed, and everything in the Western Front had settled into trench warfare. So, I think we're playing as a German squad. So we'll probably mostly be on defense. Alright. Monday, March 1st, 1915. I could still hardly believe that a few days ago, back home, I had been appointed Unteroffizier in charge of this handful of men. And here they were, sneaking through the trenches behind me, not 100 meters from the enemy positions, with heavy packs and dwindling strength. Senior teacher Wilhelm Schmidbauer wore a precise mustache and seemed surprisingly spry for his age. Oh my gosh, why do you write so fast? Okay. George Ackerman, strong and tall with a firm gait, whose directness had not escaped me. Ferdinand Cummerbunt looked small and lost, and Elmer Fram kept adjusting his glasses and had not spoken a word all the way there. Exhausted, we finally found the dugout of I think it's Lieutenant. I don't know how the Germans pronounce that. But Lieutenant von Karsbruck, to whom we had been assigned. There you are, Herr Unteroffizier, he grinned at me. You seem to have taken your time. Surely you are fit enough to start work right away. The lieutenant's condescending gaze swept over my men and then rested appraisingly on me. So we get to choose dialogue later, but let's see who all we got. So, Schmidbauer is highly motivated, optimistic, good physical condition, a little bit strained, inattentive. Okay, that's not ideal. He's very intolerant, very by the book, very patriotic, very distant, very outspoken, and is respectful. Relation neutral, optimistic, good physical, strong, inattentive. Why is everyone inattentive? Very intolerant, very courageous, somewhat sociable, somewhat jaded. Optimistic and jaded. That's interesting. Let's see how this guy does. Clumsy, attentive and weak, optimistic, good physical condition, somewhat intolerant, very by the book, patriotic, sociable, compassionate, diplomatic, cautious, respectful. Okay, he seems pretty good, aside from, the fact that he's clumsy and weak. But other than that, he seems pretty good. And Fram, trained in first aid, slow, weak, inattentive, somewhat unpatriotic, somewhat compassionate, very distant, and cautious, and he's respectful. And let's see the lieutenant. Very intolerant, very by the book, very patriotic, somewhat jaded, very outspoken, and somewhat distant. Alright, so we can either just say, yes, Herr Lieutenant, that the men are ready, or my men are tired. It's true that the men are tired, but I think we do need to be respectful to the commanding officer, especially considering how heavily military discipline was, emphasized in Germany, so we're just going to say yes, Herr Lieutenant. Yes, Herr Lieutenant, I confirmed. Regardless of how I assessed our situation, this was not the time to make a bad first impression on my senior. Exactly. Some of my men looked worried, but Lieutenant von Karsbruck nodded in satisfaction. My adjutant will show you your sleeping quarters. Afterwards, report to me for today's duties. I felt the eyes of my soldiers on my back. Obviously, some of the men resented my lack of concern for their needs. Without so much as another glance at me, Lieutenant von Karsbruck turned back to the documents on his table. Welcome to the trenches, Herr Unteroffizier. Alright. Rotate the camera by dragging the cursor, moving it to the edge of the screen, or using directional controls. Click on a location icon to jump to it. Okay. Explanation marks important conversations. Alright, and that will do all the turns. So let's see. Average prestige. It is advisable not to strain the patience of my superiors, otherwise we may face penal work duties and disadvantages, but it will not always be possible to meet their demands. Or good mood. Okay, let's see here. So, yeah. Found out how to spin the camera. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Let's see what he has to say. Her under officer, we only have the rations left that we took with us. Where are we supposed to get something to eat around here? Okay. Indicated by attribute icons. Okay. I don't see those, but maybe they're somewhere. Oh, there they are. Okay. There we go. So let's see. Rations for 1 turn added. Large amounts of ammunition available added. Alright. Is there... Hold on. Someone wants to talk to me. Where is the someone who wants to talk to me? Ah, there he is. Okay. You're just in time. I've assigned your group to Night Watch. Assign a few men to it. I suggest you send the rest to the supply depot. There you'll get provisions for the next few days. But from now on, managing your troops' food supply will be your responsibility alone. That's concerning. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, you can... So, assign a project to a soldier by dragging his portrait onto the project. Certain projects have a fixed number of soldiers needed for them. For other projects, it is up to you to how many soldiers you assign. The more, the higher the impact of the project. Okay, so... Okay, now I see how to do that. So, let's see. Night Watch, risk of injury, exhausting. Consequences of failure is that the lieutenant would not like us. Alright, let's see here. Okay. So, inattentive might not be best for the Night Watch. How long... What do you think? How long till we march into Paris? I think it'll be before Christmas. I just don't think it will be. Actually, it's already after Christmas. This guy is attentive, so I think he should probably go on to the Night Watch. And then... Who is not in it? Oh, this guy's also attentive. So, we'll send the youngest and the oldest. As for the rest, let's see. Okay. Okay. Strained. Okay, yeah, they're all strained, so it doesn't really matter. But this guy is strong, which I don't think this guy is, so he's gonna be the one to go fetch rations. And I think that should be good. Oh, but now he's just neutral on us. Or the old man is neutral on us for putting him on Night Watch. But he can cry about it, I guess. I don't think it's that bad. Anyway. Where is... Yeah, I think the lieutenant does want to talk. Okay. Another communication trench collapsed. Her under officer, gather your shovels and men. You have to rebuild it as soon as possible. Alright, maintain trenches. Will grant experience. Okay, let's go back to the dugout. Do they have anything new? Oh, okay, they just keep talking about marching into Paris. Guys, I really don't think that's happening. Let's see. Trying to see who all is strained, tired. Okay, so Yeah, alright. Let's try to get as many people who are not tired. This guy already is neutral on us, so we won't put him on. Oh, we'll put him on, and then we'll put this guy on as well to maintain the trenches. That should be good to go. So, some of my men looked worried, but Lieutenant von Carsbrook, never mind, different one. Wednesday, March 3rd, 1915. A few hours ago, the roar of artillery had begun. At first, it was as quiet as the rumble of thunder in the distance, but recently it had become steadily louder and more threatening. Suddenly, there was a thud, and not 10 meters from the hiding spot where my men were huddled, an artillery shell shredded the dugout of our neighboring troop. Pieces of wood and metal flew for meters, and smoke obscured the view. The noise was deafening for a few seconds, then died away as quickly as it had come. An almost eerie, silent gasp of shocked men. Then my men and I jumped out, pushed aside broken beams, and searched for our buried comrades. We found two, for whom all help came too late. A third, however, we could still hear panting. He was lying with his upper body trapped under the fallen beams. His face was contorted with pain, and he was barely conscious. My men stood around him forlorn, and looked over to me for help. Cumberbunt said pleadingly, "Herr Unteroffizier, we must try to help him." Together we lifted the beam from his chest and only now saw the full extent of the damage. His chest looked crushed and his hips strangely twisted. A long splinter protruded from his abdomen and his shirt was soaked in blood. Ackerman shook his head. "He's beyond help. A mercy killing will save him and us both misery." So this guy probably won't survive, but I have heard stories of people surviving injuries they shouldn't. Not to mention, he wants to help, so we're just gonna get a stretcher. Get a stretcher, I ordered Cumberbunt and Ackerman. First, I wanted to get him out of this wreckage, and then decide whether I would expose my men to the danger of carrying him to the military hospital. There, the nurses could determine whether and how to help him. Okay, so skirmish, volleys are exchanged regularly. It may not quite be a real battle, but it's still very prudent to keep one's head down under these circumstances. Okay. So these two are shaken. Okay. Ackerman does not like me. We'll just keep him in reserve. I want him to not, hate me. And then, so this guy wants to help him, so we'll put him on. Okay. He still likes me, but he's also kind of shaken. And this guy's slow, that's probably not great. But he doesn't want to help, so Schmidt-Bauer it is. Alright. And we should be good on rations. Though, who wants to talk to defensive position? Certain areas can be expanded or repaired. They provide additional defense positions in battle, enable safe escape routes, or cut off the direction path of enemy soldiers. Okay. Oh. Herr Unteroffizier, the advanced emplacement has been destroyed by artillery. Now we're missing a well-covered position there, and the French have an easy way into our trenches. I'm afraid that if we try to rebuild the position directly at the front line, the French will do their best to prevent it. We do probably want to rebuild that, though. Yeah, we gotta add these two to do it. Do we need... Nope, someone still wants to talk. I'm gonna presume that's the lieutenant. Yeah. The artillery must have destroyed one of our telephone lines. Instruct one of your men to carry this message to the command post immediately. It looks like the French are planning an attack, and we urgently need more men. Okay. Well, this guy's slow, so that's probably not good. We'll have him deliver the message. We're just gonna put him in reserve for now, because I don't think we can. Yeah, we can't finish that. Alright, let's hope that goes well. Maybe I can rebuild the trench afterwards. Okay, under artillery fire. Some projects are locked. This is symbolized by the padlock on the icon. Okay. So they're all sheltering. Alright, dialogues are an important element of the game. Okay. Her under-officer, the wounded man we took to the field hospital. Unfortunately, he died. We did what we could. The people in the field hospital too. I guess it was just too late for him. I'm glad we tried, but it's still saddening. Yeah. With this artillery bombardment, please, her under-officer, can't it wait another day? He is strained. I don't know if it... And morale is pretty low. But I do want that trench line built. That's... Yeah, we'll let him wait. At least for now. Yeah, especially with this artillery bombardment, it's probably not safe to try and do that. See how he's doing. Per under-officer, we hardly have anything left to eat. Someone urgently needs to get supplies from the camp, otherwise we won't have anything by tomorrow. Okay. Oh yeah, we only do have rations for one more turn. Anything amiss, her under-officer? No. We're so close to the enemy, and yet we're just waiting. Sooner or later, we will have to fight. I have to say I would prefer sooner. I'm not made for waiting around like this. Okay, he might... Oh. Go out under this kind of bombardment? Hardly. I'm sure whatever you need can wait until the French finally calm down. Yeah, nobody wants to go out and... Good. Whatever devil must have possessed you to suggest such a thing in the first place. Hey, I can still assign you to go out into the artillery bombardment. But... Dejected added. Wait. Hold on, why is he feeling dejected? Yeah, we probably want to just wait. We still have rations for one turn. But... Alright. Friday, March 5th, 1915. For the past day, my men and I have been sitting tightly packed in our bunker while the French artillery rained down salvo after salvo of death and destruction on us. During the hard work of our first days into trenches, I hardly found a quiet minute to have a personal conversation with my men. So now they were sitting next to me, tense and still mostly strangers, and I fervently hoped that they would survive the shelling unscathed. The silence between us was in sharp contrast to the constant droning outside. When, after hours, the firing suddenly stopped, a sigh of relief went through the ranks of some of the young soldiers. However, that was the moment when the veterans of the other troops tensed up and began to load their rifles. A cacophony of whistles snapped us out of our stupor as well. The French were attacking. Alright, so we can either say stay together, people, or with God for Kaiser and Vaterland. Which, I think this is just a cooler battle cry. Alright. With God for Kaiser and Fatherland, I shouted, and charged into the trenches. Others joined in my battle cry, and together we roared against the cries of the oncoming French. Pitiful rations added. Neutral mood. Okay. Yeah, I can't add any. So, yeah, I think we just have to go to the battle. I don't think there's anything we can do beforehand. Oh. Okay. So here come the French. The enemy has superior numbers. We may soon have to retreat from these trenches. Per Underofficer, you and your greenhorns are to collect and evacuate all the ammunition you can find. If we're to lose this trench, at least we won't lose our equipment. Okay. In battle, you lead your soldiers as a troop. However, you can also give them orders individually unless they have been separated from the group. Button can be used to add additional projects such as searching shelters for ammunition. Okay, let's see here. Collect ammunition and equipment. Let's see. Search hideout. I think he's attentive. Yeah. And okay, so these people are strained. I think this guy's faintly better. He's also attentive. Okay, so shoots every enemy in sight. Is there anywhere we should move? I don't think we can move yet, so we'll just search these areas. Okay. Since I don't actually know if we need to fight the French right now, but alright, troop commands. You can only give your troops one command per turn. The hold command causes your troops to stay at its current position. Okay. Let's see. What are they wanting to talk about? There's still a bit of ammunition and first aid supplies here. I took everything I could find. Okay, that's pretty good. There's still a bit of ammunition and first aid supplies here. Okay. Let's see. Suppress French troops. Suppress French troops. I guess we can just try to hold here. And we'll fire some suppressing fire over here. So I think these three are probably the best. Well, other than maybe him. Okay, so fire on sight. Let's see, what do these do? Okay, so we can either fire on sight there. So French Troop 2 is there. These guys are close, though. So then again, we also are kind of lacking in... No, we're not lacking in ammunition. And we're in moderate cover currently. I think we should be good. And we might want to move him. Trying to decide if we want to move further back in the trench. Okay. Oh, right. They move as a troop. I forgot about that. Can I cancel that? There we go. Yeah. I don't think we want to move just yet. So we'll put up suppressing fire. And this guy can continue to hold. So hopefully that'll keep the French down. Maybe. They're getting kind of close. Okay, we're in good cover. In grenade range. How do we do that? Are these guys... Okay, so those guys are suppressed. These guys are also suppressed. Maybe we can hold this trench? Wait, so... Almost no danger, and that would allow us to hold over there, but... We are currently in good cover. I don't know if I want to leave that. Yeah, maybe we don't want to leave that. Or that did say almost no danger. So we'll move that way. Since so far, it looks like most of the French troops are suppressed. Oh shoot, is that the French? They're right there? Okay then, this enemies on the flank added, close quarters combat added, good cover, we should not have moved. There are French over there, we have to get out of here. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, we're gonna try to retreat back into good cover. So, hold on, I'm curious. How do you throw a grenade? Yeah, we're gonna pull back into that good cover. Because, yeah, that is not a good position. So I don't know why you would try to go over the trenches. I think you just glitched through the trenches, actually. Is that the French? That is the French. How do I keep bumping into these guys? Action suppressed. Okay. We're in enemies on the flank, artillery shelling. Heads down, artillery. Is there anything else? There are French over there. Yes, I'm noticing that. That's a German troop. Hold on, is there any way to hold this position? I don't think so. Search crates. Actually, it might not be. Let's not search crates. Yeah, we're gonna retreat to there. Almost no danger, moderate cover. Moderate cover. Low protection from artillery. Yeah, let's try to keep it safe. This is, I think, the best position we can move to. Okay. Because I'd like to stay in the trenches, preferably. Okay, we might be able to hold this position. In grenade range? Can we actually do that? I don't know how to throw a grenade. Because if the French are right over there... Do I not have grenades? It would seem not. But let's just hold here. And then... Yeah, we should be good to go. I think we can hold this area. Oh. Okay, so there's just combat going on right there. Soldiers, we are falling back. Retreat to the next defensive line. Okay, let's see. Per Underofficer, we should provide cover fire so our comrades can retreat. Okay. There are French over there. I can't take it anymore. I'm exhausted. Hold on. How do I... Okay, let's see. We should probably get back to there. I want to provide covering fire, but for some reason I can't hold certain positions. And I think this position might be a little bit more defensible. Don't know if I actually have a great grasp on combat yet. Okay. Okay, now we can provide actual covering fire. So there's a German troop over there. And so far no German troops over there. So we're going to hold this position. And we're going to suppress these French troops. And these will be the 3 that do that. Is there any supply depots? I'm not seeing any. Did that artillery shell just hit us? I'm like 95% sure it just hit all 4 of my men, but... apparently not. Anyway, it does look like the German troop I was trying to help retreated. Let's see here. Oh. Shoot. Alright, covering fire for him. We're gonna put him on covering fire. I think we gotta probably retreat over here. Very low danger. Or hold on. So, covering fire for him. You're gonna provide the covering fire. Why can I not talk to this guy? Yeah, okay, that won't work. Hold on. Okay, can I actually move over that way? Doesn't seem like it. Guess we're just gonna have to... No, hold on. Hold that position. Covering fire for this guy. There, he finally moved? There we go. The artillery, I almost got hit. That was far too close. It's a miracle that no one was seriously injured. Yes. Yes, and that feed it. Yeah. Yes, indeed it is. These 2 will fire on sight. Okay. Okay, the French are moving up. We're gonna need to book it from this position. Per Underofficer, they're shooting at us with all their guns. Maybe they'll stop if we just stay down. I don't think they'll stop. We can fire back, though. Because we do have sufficient ammunition. So the French are there, and there, and there. Where are our allies? Yeah, there's not very many. So that's an advance. Let's see here. What does this do? Suppresses enemies. Maybe we can fire back at them, and then we'll... Yeah, we'll fire back, and then we'll retreat. But hopefully that'll suppress them, I guess. Okay, can't really tell if we fired back or not. Seemingly we did. Okay, suppressed, removed. Now we can... Let's try to retreat to here. Narrow cover. Yeah, that's not ideal. That's probably better. Because, yeah, I think we sufficiently held that position, maybe. But... Why do I hear an artillery shell? Oh, shoot. Okay, let's see. Damn artillery. Schmidt-Bauer must have taken a hit. Okay, let's see. He's doing first aid. He's wounded. Let's have these two fire on site to keep them safe. Ooh. Yeah, it takes 3 to suppress any of these. Yeah, they're just gonna have to fire on site. But yeah, after that, I think we need to book it. Okay, damn. Fair enough. I stopped Schmidt-Bauer's bleeding her under-officer. It looks like he won't have to go to the field hospital. Cool. I think it's about time we... Can we retreat to here? Very low danger. Though that is apparently... That might be even better. The bushes. Okay. Yeah, we're going to retreat to there. Try to keep our men somewhat protected at least. But where's that creek? Oh, there's the creek. Okay. The wound hurts so much. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to get out of here. I do not want to die. Flee to military hospital. Okay. We're going to have the young guy help escort him. We're going to have these two fire on site. Just to keep cover. Albeit, I don't think they actually know what they're shooting at because we're, you know, behind bushes. Retreat. I told you to retreat. You are alone up there. Don't delude yourself thinking this recklessness will impress me, her under-officer. Okay, retreat. That's another... Okay, there we go. That would retreat us across the creek. I mean, I wasn't staying behind to try and, you know, fight all the French. I was just... Well, I guess I was trying to, you know... Task failed. That ain't good. Okay. To the next level. Wow, that was a disaster. All we really did was succeed in shooting at French troops. So I think I just successfully pissed off everyone at me. Alright. Saturday, March 6, 1915. The explosions, gunshots, and screams still echoed in my ears. We had only been fighting for a few minutes, and yet it felt as if years had passed since this morning. In the everyday life back home, a lifetime away. To be in the camp now, safely far behind the front, was surreal. The light-hearted chirping of the birds almost drowned out the dull rumble of the front, and the cries of the pain from the field hospital where we had taken Schmidt-Bauer. My My people lay down exhausted on the grass, surrounded by boxes of ammunition and equipment we had saved. Dirtied and bloodied, some still pale and trembling, but soon the angry voice of Lieutenant in the distance abruptly broke the supposed peace, even before we could see him coming towards us amidst the tents. So we can either tell our, troops to be on their feet, or we can just ask if that's the lieutenant. I'm not going to make the man get on the feet. I think I already put him through enough hell. Her lieutenant. Her lieutenant? I greeted him uncertainly. Lieutenant von Karsbrook looked down contentiously at my people, most of whom were still sitting or lying on the ground. Looking at the meager ammunition supplies obviously only served to make the impression worse. Ludicrous performance, her underofficer, he assessed angrily. You and your people can't even manage the simplest task. Apparently with this bunch of slobs, you have to be happy if anyone shows even a modicum of competency. Our troops were in the best defensive position for a counterattack. But no, the reserve was too cowardly to take advantage of this unique opportunity we had prepared for them. The lieutenant rumbled without prompting. And now the Herr Major accuses me, us, of having abandoned the trench line unnecessarily. A disgrace. Henceforth, we will hold the line, come what may. I mean, technically speaking, I did try to hold the line. So we can say that my people did their best, there was no holding the line, or yes, her lieutenant. I mean, I think we could have, but maybe not. We could just agree with him. He is pretty irritable. But also, I do kind of want to stick up for my men. My people did their best. My people did their best. I defend my soldiers' performance. Because there was no getting supplies in any safe location. The lieutenant raised an eyebrow skeptically. Then I expect drastic improvement from you and your people. My promotion to Oberlieutenant is at stake, he lectured me. Set up camp, her underofficer. Sooner or later we'll get our chance to pay back the French. He ordered and left us to take out his displeasure on others. Alright. Let's see. So, neutral mood. Average prestige. Standard rations for 5 turns. Hospital partially occupied. Little ammunition. Sufficient bandages. And medium supply stock. Alright, but anyway, with that, I'm actually going to end the video here. So if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. If you didn't, comment down below, you can do better. And I will see you guys in the next video.